Hey everyone, welcome to Straitjacket Talk, where it's two guys.
Hold on.
What?
Kevin, you cut out.
What's going on?
I can't hear anybody.
I can't.
Can you
Nathan,
see
your
me?
picture went
Static
out.
all over my screen.
Are we doing the singing thing we talked about?
Jill.
I
thought you guys
Hello?
were being for real. I was like, what's happening?
Who fed them after midnight?
Who
It
fed
was
them after
Nathan.
midnight? Damn it.
Of course.
You got
It's
me.
always Nathan. You would read the Book of the Dead and you would feed the Gremlins after midnight.
Yeah, I'd be so curious about the feeding them after the midnight thing, you know. First thing I'd do when I got that Gizmo into my house would be put it in the bath.
And get them wet.
Whoa.
that took a turn.
Hey everyone, welcome to Straitjacket Talk, where it's two guys, a girl, and a horror show. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by a guy who sides with Professor Hinkle over Frosty the Snowman. It's Nathan.
Fuck that snowman. He needs to melt. I don't like his hat.
There must have been some magic in that old silk hat he found.
And I'm throwing it in the fire.
I'm also joined by a girl who is way cooler than Turbo Man. It's Jill.
I wish, man. I have the arms and legs that move.
Do you have the rocket
It's turbo
power?
time.
Woo!
Yeah. The Rock'em Sock'em Jetpack.
Yeah, I love it. And we have a special episode for you tonight because we are joined on this very Merry Christmas episode of Straitjacket Talk with the Mouths of Madness.
Back again.
First, we have Dan. Dan, Merry Christmas. You're looking festive.
Thank you, Kevin. You are as well. I love your Nightmare Before Christmas attire. It's looking great. Everybody's looking fantastic. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Ooh, I love it. Next, we have the Mayor of Christmastown. It's Bear Claw.
Happy holidays, y'all, and Merry Christmas.
Bear Claw, you look like you're ready to bust out the Christmas Jams 93 mix.
Oh, I gotta tell you, the Christmas spirit is flowing strong over here.
Yes, I love it. And finally, we have the youngest member of Madness, my son Logan. Logan, happy Grinchy Christmas?
Yeah. What the hell is that? Grinchmas?
Grinchmas. There we
Bah
go.
humbug, huh?
Nah, man, I'm into
Bah
Christmas.
humbug.
Nah, Ebenezer
Keep the
Scrooge.
Christ in Christmas.
Yeah.
It's what Logan is known
Keep
for,
the
his pious
Christ in
nature.
Christmas. We have a special episode for Christmas because we are covering Gremlins versus Gremlins 2. First, we have Gremlins from 1984. It was a Steven Spielberg produced movie, directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus. Gremlins had a budget of $11 million. Do you know how much it made at the box office? Nathan, kick us off.
I know it was a huge hit, so I'm going to have to go over six figures here. Thinking $130 million?
All right, Jill?
So bad at this game. I'm going to go with 160K.
Only 160,000?
Wait.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean million, I guess. I don't.
It was a financial disaster.
And they made
You know what,
another
though?
one.
The numbers mean nothing to me.
Hey, listen. If everybody else went over, you would win by Price is Right rules.
That's true. That's true.
We'll do 16 million.
16 million.
What did I say the first time?
160K, which is
160,000.
160,000.
I'm gonna go with such a disaster.
Weren't you Canadians on the metric system?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write.
Chocolate mousse.
I'm gonna write you down for 160 million. How about that?
160 million.
All right.
Super.
Dan.
Well, let's see. It's a Spielberg production, so it's got to have done well too. So I think I'm gonna go a little bit lower than the other two. I'm gonna say 115 million.
I'm going the other direction. I'm going with a cool $200 million.
Up and away.
Gremlins. Oh, God. 210.
1,000.
No.
Logan wins.
Hey! Wow. Holy shit.
He was almost right on. Gremlins made $212 million at the box office. It was a huge
big success. This is a pretty iconic movie.
Yeah, everybody's seen it, except for Kevin.
Damn, bah humbug to you, Nathan. Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Gremlins has an 86% critic score and a 78% audience score. So this is certified fresh. Now, because it made so much money, we had to do a sequel, right?
Kevin, would you say they had to drop a deuce?
Studio just brings me in to oversee things when they're about to drop a deuce.
Would you say?
It had to happen, Bear Claw. Gremlins 2, The New Batch, was also directed by Joe Dante, but it was written by Charles S. Haas.
The difference in writers is very clear between these two movies.
They're a little different.
Clear, some may say.
Gremlins 2 had a budget of $30 to $50 million. Do you know how much it made at the box office?
I know it didn't do anywhere near as well as Gremlins 1. So I'll just, since I was so far off, I guess I'll just guess 130 million again.
Jill.
Do I get like a lifeline? Like, can I call a friend or something?
Oh, you want to get a friend on? Well, they... Reed just
calls Kevin. He's like, I've got the numbers in front of you. I can't help you cheat, Jill.
Okay. This is so hard for me. I'm sorry. I'm going to say 216 million.
All right.
Doll hairs.
All right.
I agree with Nathan. This probably didn't do as well. I'll say 80 million.
I'm feeling like 160 million feels right.
God, Gremlins 2. 1990 in New York. God, I don't know,
Lost
like
in
100.
Big time for the city.
Lost in New York. 140. I'll go 140.
Dan is the winner, even though everybody went over.
Oh.
Gremlins 2 only made $41.5 million at the box office.
Yay.
That's a dip.
Stinker.
Yeah.
Oh.
It tanked.
Ouch.
You know what's crazy, too?
Better hope it didn't cost 50 million to make. It only cost 30 million
Oh,
to make.
yeah, that's true. And it had like, over... quadruple the budget of the first one?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I was say a third of the budget went to Hulk Hogan's salary.
The Hulkster. He ruined this
the Gremsters can stand up to the Hulkster.
Do you think the Gremsters can stand up to the Hulkster?
Not a fucking chance.
We had to pay Hogan. Had to pay him.
Backstage politicking just like back in wrestling.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Yep.
Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, Gremlins 2 has a 71% critic score and a 59% audience score. So a little bit different there. But what did we think about both of these movies? Before we get into our reviews, if you could please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also hit the notification bell, because when we have a new video, you'll be the first to know. Isn't that right, Nathan?
Yes, it's a privilege.
Well, like Nathan said in the opening, I had not seen Gremlins or Gremlins 2 before this review, so...
Kind of a travesty.
Yeah.
So, like, where were you, like, generally speaking?
I don't know.
Like, you just didn't exist. And
I was under a rock.
These movies are everywhere, especially Gremlins are everywhere.
Yeah, I remember, especially as a kid, and they make reference to it in Gremlins 2, with the gremlin in the car windows with the sticky cups.
That was everywhere.
Funny, I look at him, you know what I see?
What's that, sir?
Dolls with suction cups staring out car windows.
I saw those everywhere. Even like little gizmos everywhere. I mean, it was so popular.
I had a little gizmo.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuffed gizmo.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember seeing them everywhere. I don't know why I just never saw these. I'll be honest with you. When I was a little kid, aliens always freaked me out, and like weird monster gremlins always freaked me out. Like, have you guys ever seen Ernest?
Scared Stupid?
Scared Stupid, yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid,
I've not seen that,
with the
actually.
trolls.
Dude,
That's a
that
great
scared the
movie.
shit out of me. So
That was, for a children's movie, that was quite creepy.
so Gremlins for me was kind of like that same idea. But in saying that, I'm so happy that I've seen both these movies now because holy shit, these are like classic movies. I think my overall thoughts is on both of these. They blend horror and comedy so well. And they kind of really walk that line of being like for kids and for adults, which is pretty crazy because one of the things that
some more than others.
Yeah,
some more than others.
You're right.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened though, because of Gremlins and Temple of Doom, is the MPAA actually made a PG-13 rating. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I think that speaks to what these movies are because they're very much like right in the middle because they can appeal to kids and adults, I think. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So is Gremlins 2 PG-13 then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think they like kind of inspired that category or something, right? Or like
I feel like Gremlins 2 would make a PG title. It would make a PG rating nowadays.
Maybe.
Maybe.
There is some scary scenes though.
That spider scared the piss out of me as a kid.
Spider
so.
one.
Yeah.
You mean a gremlin with 8 legs and a thorax just catching pretty ladies in a web in an office building?
Spider was objectively the scariest part of that movie, but
and Hulk Hogan.
like, you know, I can think of other PG movies that are like that are a little bit scarier than that. Like, take for instance, like Return to Oz. Like that movie still scares thee to this day.
You know what? I haven't seen Return to Oz.
Neither have I.
Neither have I.
We should cover it because that is a horror movie, and there's nobody who can convince me otherwise. That movie is terrifying. I've had nightmares about that movie since I was a little kid. A woman can replace her head? Like, come on.
You know what, Bear Claw, you made a great point because, like, is this, and specifically, I guess, Gremlins and Gremlins 2, are these both horror movies or are they like kids' movies? What do you think? What's your overall feelings on Gremlins and Gremlins 2? Bear Claw, start us off.
So my overall feelings on Gremlins and Gremlins 2 is I think they're, and this is weird to even say, like, family horror movies. Like, they're horror movies, but like there's not enough horror and violence to like really put them in like a slasher kind of category. But like Gremlins are still like a menacing presence in the film, and like there's still, you know, some violence. Like there's reminders in Gremlins 1, because Gremlins 1 kind of comes off a little bit as like a Steven Spielberg movie. You very much feel Steven Spielberg in the first Gremlins movie. But at the same time, then there's some twists and turns it takes, like the biology teacher getting it. And, you know, there's some dark turns that movie takes. And then the whole Santa Claus thing with the main female lead there that really... really just dumps a bunch of ice water on you if you're enjoying the movie at the moment.
Firemen came and broke through the chimney top, and me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird, and instead they pulled out my father.
I laughed at that too, to be honest with you. I don't know.
That felt like an ice water bath in the middle of a good time. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my impressions. And then the second Gremlins movie, for better or worse, and I'll leave that up to a larger debate, is a cartoon movie. I mean, it's cartoonish in every way, and I think you can make an argument for good or bad on that. But they're very different movies. They kind of both have the same subject, but like the first one is definitely you can just feel Steven Spielberg in it because it follows his traditional arcs and his characters and kind of that always tying back to those like hometown values. And then the second one, it's Looney Tunes essentially. Like that's what we're talking about with the second one. So that's like my kickoff impression of these two movies.
How about you, Jill? What's your overall feelings on Gremlins and Gremlins 2?
To me, it's always been like an 80s staple. Like when you think of just like the types of movies and the style and everything that they had back then, this is just like one of those iconic movies. And it also reminds me of like The Lost Boys and like The Goonies and stuff like that, you know?
For sure.
There's just like this sense of adventure and almost kind of like a magical kind of element to it that movies just don't have anymore. Like even like Troll, There's like this fantasy kind of element, even though it could be also construed as sci-fi or horror. And it just has this
like how you put it, Jill, that like sense of adventure.
Yeah.
Like I think that's very astute. Like that's what Spielberg is best at. That sense of adventure.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, you said it best. Like you can feel the Spielberg in it. And I think it's also just like a great Christmas movie. The Christmas music, just the atmosphere. I love like all the like vintage, like the decorations. It reminds me of my childhood. Like the garland and the tinsel. Like I miss that, and it just I don't know. It just makes me feel like warm inside. But then you also get like the really funny stuff, and also the really messed up stuff, like the chainsaw in the first one, and it's just like such an iconic movie. And for the second one, I didn't even know it existed, honestly.
This is your first watch of the second one?
For the second one, yeah. Because the first one, last time I saw it, I was a kid. So I haven't watched it as an adult before, which is a totally different viewing experience. The second one is just like so zany and just like they did whatever the F they wanted to. And it's just an experience. But yeah. What about you, Dan?
I love both of these movies. They're a lot of fun. I grew up with them in my childhood, so they have a special place in my heart, as of course. The first one, to me, you guys kind of already touched on it a little bit. It feels like a modern day fairy tale in how the story's told. That's got that Spielberg magic like you guys are talking about. For me, the thing I feel like is so essential in a Spielberg movie is the music. It is the vehicle that drives that sense of adventure, that whimsical, magical feeling you get. The other thing, like it's a very wholesome movie. I think it has like a lot of like good moral messages behind it, kind of like, like live modestly, don't be an all-consuming gremlin.
Right.
Accept responsibility and be accountable for your actions.
I warned you. With Mogwai comes much responsibility. But you didn't listen.
Better watch out. Like, my bad, guys. I fucked that up.
Better watch out.
Oh, wow.
Better watch out.
That was one of mine.
Christmas movie. Wow.
You have Better Watch Out. It's an episode.
Unfortunately.
Back to the point. I also love the fact that it's in the Christmas season. Dante really explored what could be done with the effects. Like, it is a kid-friendly splatterfest, and I think it still holds up pretty well effects-wise. The second one, it doesn't hold anything back. They really turn up the depravity, and while I do think it's like a typical Hollywood sensationalism of making something bigger and more grandiose, I feel like it fits with the overall message of the movies in that they are both like critical of consumer culture in the 80s. And like, this one takes place at the end of the 80s in New York City. And to me, it's like a continuation of that fable established about modesty by the old man at the end. What happens fairly early in like the beginning is the old man is killed off right away. So it's a way of life that no longer applies here. And metaphorically, they plan to demo his building to build something more grandiose and unnecessary for the sake of ego and status.
I develop the biggest buildings in New York, and you sell, little things. That's fine.
To me, the second one just feels like Barraclough was saying. It's a cartoon, but it's dripping with satire. I think it's more of a satire than the first one. I feel like the first one has more heart, and this one is just, let's just throw shit against the wall and just brutally mock, like, the higher crusts of society.
Right.
Did anyone think that the second one felt a little like RoboCop?
Gremlins 2,
RoboCop. Like a little bit like RoboCop.
I mean, it's got the satirical element for sure.
I actually found the tone of the second one more in line with like the original 1990 Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit too. There's a little bit of Ninja Turtles in there too. Yeah.
Turtles in Time.
Not Turtles in Time.
Not Turtles in Time. That movie is an abomination.
That movie is a masterpiece.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, Bear Claw.
Nathan, how about you? What's your
Yeah,
overall
so-
feelings? Nostalgia, no?
Complete nostalgia. Yeah, there's no way to separate the nostalgia from my opinion on these movies. I mean, I saw them early enough that I do not remember when the first time I saw them was. It's like I was born having already seen them, almost. What everybody's saying about the first one being very Spielberg, even though it's Joe Dante, that's correct. I do think that the first one has shades of what is going to happen in the second one. There is some Looney Tunes type stuff in there, especially like the bar scene, which is just amazing. And then the second one is basically just the bar scene, but an hour and 45 minutes long.
Is that accurate?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I am totally okay with that. You know, Gizmo obviously is adorable and gives you, somebody to root for. You also root for Barney.
Justice for Barney.
Yeah, as Dan said in the group chat, yes, justice for Barney. But yeah, I mean, these are two of my favorite movies of all time. I love the live action Looney Tunes vibe of the second one. I don't know. That's kind of what I like about the first one too, is the wackiness and Mrs. Deagle getting,
Yes.
getting shot up the stairs in the assistant's chair or whatever, lying out the window. And the
She
cops being
threatened Barney one too many times.
Yeah.
I'll catch the beast myself. Maybe I'll put him in my spin dryer on high heat.
That'd do it all right.
Justice for Barney.
And actually, Mrs. Deagle gives you a really, really good villain to hate, too. I mean, she is like a cross of Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life and the Wicked Witch of the West put into one.
Just give us a little more time. Mrs. Harris, the bank and I have the same purpose in life, to make money. I want your dog.
I didn't think you could get characters much more evil than either of those two. And then you put them both together and you get one of the most evil characters of all time. These movies should be enshrined somewhere.
All right,
In the
Logan.
National Archives.
Yeah.
Logan, what's your overall feelings on Gremlins and Gremlins 2? Are these your first watches?
Yeah. Much like you, this completely went over my head. I was always told never to watch Gremlins because it was a bad movie, and then I watched them for the first time, and then I was like, yeah, that was terrible advice. I never want to listen to those people ever again.
Okay. Who told you that, and can we find them?
Multiple people for multiple years.
Oh my God.
The first Gremlins movie is great.
From the generation that brought you Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah, right?
Nah, that was a generation after us.
Editor's note: the creator of Skibbity Toilet was born in 1999, which means he is definitely Gen Z.
Bro, we're not Generation Alpha. We're not in that. That ain't us. They not like us.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to. I'm telling you what it is.
Just like we're not boomers.
Yeah.
We're not boomers.
We're elder millennials.
Yeah.
You are.
First of all,
I don't have boomer money.
there's a whole generation in between us and boomers.
Yeah, Gen X is between us and boomers.
You can say whatever you want. You're still a boomer.
What the fuck?
If you can't work your phone, you are a boomer.
I work my phone just fine for
Kevin.
one.
I was talking to my dad,
discipline
not
your child.
you.
You can't get upset about us confusing Gen A and Gen Z.
Get
when
the
you're
belts.
Dang.
You're clumping in 3 whole generations.
Well, whatever. Get used to it. That's what's gonna happen. Fortunately, Skibbity Toilet will never die out. Just like Gremlins. Gremlins 3 coming out soon. Gremlins 1 is like the perfect movie. I just love it. It's very wholesome. It's very it's got very different genres. Like, you easily connect with the characters. Each character is like its own arc. Even the dog. I mean, even the dog has a character. It's just a perfect movie. Like, the mom going full John Wick on the Gremlins is like the perfect scene. It's the moment where I was like, this movie is cinema. Deagle going out the window, flying out of it, like Kevin out of Home Alone going down the stairs. Perfect. Gremlins 1 is a masterpiece of a movie. No one should ever say that movie is bad. Now, Gremlins 2, on the other hand, we get into another topic where I think it's better than a masterpiece. It is whatever's on top of it. It is an S tier movie. I stand by Gremlins 2. Gremlins 2 is far superior to any sequel. Better than Empire Strikes Back. Better than better than Terminator 2.
What? Wait a minute. What?
I agree.
Oh my goodness!
Because it knows what it is.
Terminator 2 is a tough sell, but
Bearclaw, it knows what it is. It knows what it is. It knows it's a crappy movie, and it knows that it is stupid, and I love it for all of its worth.
It's not crappy.
It is terrible. There is no plot, and I love it.
The plot is the same as the first one. It's got plenty of plot.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
The entire movie takes place with the Gremlins, basically, like you guys said, what that bar scene was in the original, and just put it in this one for an hour and 45 minutes, and I love it. It is perfect.
Yes, that's the plot.
But I don't feel for the characters at all. There's no character development, and I don't care. Hulk Hogan's in it, and that's the only bad part. It is a genius movie.
Listen, this gets us to the big point of the episode, and Nathan and Christ, I can't even concentrate because all I see is that gremlin behind Logan.
I can't take it away. It's stuck. I want it to leave. It's scaring me.
The Gremlins got into Logan's phone.
Logan's leading us right into this. Which one do you guys prefer? Gremlins or Gremlins 2? Nathan, start us off.
Gremlins 2.
Oh.
Definitely Gremlins 2. I love Gremlins 2. When a movie just goes so far over the top like that, it just makes me love it. I love all the fourth wall breaks. I love the fact that one of the Gremlins at one point is wearing a shirt that has Gizmo with a little no sign through it. I love Hulk Hogan telling me that the movie's going to keep going and that I don't need to worry about it because it won't happen again.
All right, folks. It won't happen again.
It did make me feel safe.
Yes.
I will say that.
Listen, I have a question on this. Real quick. We've heard the term fourth wall break. Is this a fifth wall break? Because technically,
if there ever was one, it would be Gremlins 2.
Well, because technically the Gremlins have the fourth wall break because they're watching their own movie, right?
No, they broke their own movie and put on the nudie show. What was that? What was that called? Volleyball summer? Just playing volleyball.
You're right though. They do like show off like the movie, so it is pretty meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the merch talk, like we talked about. Yeah.
Talking about the suction cup gizmos.
Yeah. I love the first Gremlins a lot, but the second Gremlins just took the things that I loved about Gremlins 1, pushed it over the top, and then added another layer of over the top to it. And that's what makes me love it. I like, this is not a movie where I want subtlety. This is not a movie that I want to make me chuckle because of its tasteful jokes.
Right.
Gremlins 2 is what I want out of Gremlins.
Sledgehammer.
Yes. I want it to be Looney Tunes, and that's why I like Gremlins 2 better.
Literally has Looney Tunes in it.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Tattoos. Chest tattoo.
Yeah, chest tattoo.
Logan.
WB.
So you're also jumping with Nathan on the Gremlins 2 bandwagon?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
Whoa.
Which one do you prefer?
I would watch the first one. I'd rewatch it the most. Like, I wouldn't go back to the second one because I just loved watching it for the first time. I would watch it again, but I'd probably watch the first one multiple times each Christmas.
Oh.
It's more of
Oh,
a
yeah.
Christmas movie. It's more
You're
of a
right.
Christmas
That's true.
movie. So like I would feel more entitled to watch that one instead of the second one.
To be fair, Gremlins 2 does have a single Christmas present at one point.
Yeah,
so
that's
it
not
is still
enough.
a Christmas movie.
Hulk Hogan is not Christmas. Neither is Frank Sinatra, sung by a gremlin.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan
man.
is what Santa gives you if you've been a bad boy.
Little hole in the stocking. All right,
yeah.
so we got 1 and 1. Bear Claw, where are you landing?
The real Sophie's Choice for me because I love those two movies for very different reasons. I'm a huge Steven Spielberg adventure film fan. Like I love the Goonies, I love all the Indiana Jones, I love Jaws, but I also sincerely appreciate Gremlins too. Yeah, I guess if we're putting me on the spot and I had to choose, I would begrudgingly choose Gremlins 1 only because I really enjoy the adventure aspect of it, but for like having a movie on in the background and being able to look up at Dr. What was his
Dr.
name?
Catheter.
Get Dr. Catheter.
Splice of life, gene splicing.
Dr. Catheter, played by Christopher Lee. I mean, 1 is going to be my choice, but only because I'm forced off a cliff. Because 2 is so amazing as well. I mean, Dr. Catheter, Christopher Lee. I mean, how do you get Christopher Lee and Hulk Hogan in one movie? I mean, come on.
But no dad. You need the
Yeah,
dad.
no dad.
Yeah, no dad in the chimney, I guess. That's true.
No,
Well,
not
was a little bit of a
that.
bummer in the first one.
No inventor dad, no Mr. Peltzer.
Oh, no, Mr. Peltzer. I loved Mr. Peltzer in the first one.
You gotta love Mr.
You know what,
Peltzer.
Mr. Peltzer. Well, the mom being a gladiator,
Yeah,
too.
Mrs.
Like,
Peltzer, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me. This is my kitchen.
Take the blender. Time for a microwave.
Just goes into the living room with 2 knives in hand like a gladiator. No fear in her eyes. It was badass.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with 1 for my favorite.
All right, Dan, how about you? Where you landing on this?
God, it's like picking between your 2 favorite children. I lean toward liking the first one better because it's a little more contained. There's a much more better story being told. It has the Christmas setting too, which Logan touched on. Bear Claw touched on the great battle scene with the mother, which to me like is the scene that steals that entire movie. It pains me to say that because I absolutely do love the second one. It's more of a biting satire on the excesses of riches, hyper-individualism, sensationalism. Like, I just think the Clamp guy, it's so funny how they're like, what would happen if you took Ted Turner and Donald Trump and you smashed them together?
Yeah.
You would have
Yeah, but they
Clamp.
kind of make him like a good guy at the end of it, though.
Yeah.
What?
There's a little bit of apology.
Little bit, yeah.
Like the real.
It just doesn't seem like he learned anything, though, from any of it.
Oh, he did.
No, but his lust for adoration actually leads him to do things that are good for New York.
If you pull this off, you could save the city.
Save the city. Developer save city. I like that. Good.
Whereas you can't say that about certain other billionaires. So.
Fair.
Well, how about you, Jill?
Okay, I want to start off by saying that I love both of the movies, but like I said earlier, didn't even know there was a sequel. So the first one has a little bit of a soft spot in my heart. Like you guys have touched on, it is more of a story with heart. I can get behind the characters more. I like that it's like a small town Christmas movie and it has that commentary on, those Christmas values. Like it's kind of got that
Right.
Scrooge thing going on, like Christmas Carol. And I liked that a lot. And I really liked getting to know the characters and like actually caring about them. Because I don't care about like any of the people in the second one. Yeah, it's just a classic to me. I just think it's great. It looks great. I can watch the whole thing. It's very rewatchable. Like I can sit down and watch it every year for Christmas, probably. Yeah. And I love the second one. I do. But to me, it's crazy. It's kind of like how I feel about the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just a non-stop trip from beginning to end, and it's a lot. It's like I already have anxiety, like it gives me more anxiety, and afterwards I'm exhausted. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wouldn't really be able to watch the second one again, like over and over again. Like I'll need some time to recover from it. But I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely a movie you can get fucked up and watch and just like laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that it's kind of like Minions if Minions was good.
Yes.
Yeah. If Minions was good.
Oh, Minions.
Minions is good. What are you talking about?
Logan.
What, Nathan? You don't like kids movies. It's okay. We know.
I love kids movies.
One
of my favorite movies is My Neighbor Totoro.
I like Despicable Me.
That's different though.
But
I
like
haven't seen it.
But like the Minions specific movie is kind of like Gremlins 2 a little bit.
It is.
Yes.
It's just like these people who don't really speak English, not people, these little critters. I shouldn't say that. Cut this out. This sounds really fucking bad. The first movie does talk a lot about, foreigners.
You gotta watch out for the foreigners because they plant gremlins in their machinery.
The second movie kind of does too.
It does. So I'll see
It's
myself
got a lot
out.
less Mr. Futterman in it though. So
Mr.
I guess
Futterman.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I can't believe Futterman survives in the second one.
I know. What? He got ran over by a snowplow.
Yeah, no, he was definitely supposed to be dead at the end of the first one, and then in the second one, Joe Dante was like, "No, I want him back. Just say he survived somehow.
There was a window.
Doesn't fucking matter.
There was a
We're
window.
gonna have
Get the Necronomicon out. Bringing him back.
Logan thinks he jumped out the window.
I would.
Maybe.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with everybody here because it is a very close call. I think they're separated by, a sliver for me in which I prefer. And I think actually Jill hit the nail on the head for me because I was trying to think about in my mind how I was going to explain the difference for me. And you hit it on the head. I think I love 2, but 2 is like pure chaos. Like
that's what I love about
I
it.
know,
though.
I hear you. But I want to like some calmness and like Jill said, you need a break after Gremlins 2, And
stressful.
Yeah, it is stressful. But in saying that, I still love Gremlins 2. I love how it pokes fun at itself and it pokes fun at the first one too. I love the scene where they have what's the critic's name?
Oh, I've got that written down. Oh God, I've got just pages upon pages of notes for Gremlins too. Leonard Martin.
Leonard Martin, yeah. So it has him and they make reference to how in the Gremlins 1 he rated very poorly, right? And so they take him down. He's like, "Oh, I like it.
It's a 10. It's a 10.
What's fun about a movie full of ugly, slimy, mean-spirited, gloppy little monsters who run amok and attack innocent people? Whoa, wait a minute. I'm just kidding. Ow, a 10. It's a 10.
And I heard he did rate this one pretty good. I wonder why.
He was threatened by Gremlins.
Yeah.
As we're talking about these two movies, I feel like Gremlins 1 is like a Hershey's chocolate bar and Gremlins 2 is like Skittles. That's like my difference between these two movies. I love them both, but like they're different,
And that's exactly it. I think the first one is just I think it's a timeless movie. It really is. Like it's one of those movies. It's a Spielberg movie, right? It brings you small town adventure atmosphere, has the Goonies feel to it. It has a little danger, but like everything's gonna be okay, sort of thing. And I love that vibe, and I love the Christmas vibe too, because it has a real big Christmas vibe throughout. Mixing
until we talk to his girlfriend.
Her father dying is funny.
He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney on Christmas Eve, his arms loaded with presents.
Wow.
She does trauma dump.
I don't know, man. That was a real low point in the movie for me. I feel like they should have really cut that scene out.
No,
Every
no.
movie.
They make fun of it real hard in the second movie with presidents.
Oh, please.
What's wrong?
Oh, don't mention Lincoln. Something terrible happened to me one year on Lincoln's birthday.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I want to ask
Don't
on
mention
this.
Lincoln's birthday.
I want to ask on this. What happened to her?
We don't have
Somebody
time
had a
for
trench
that.
coat on.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's got trauma.
I think she got flashed is what happened.
That's what. Oh my God. Not his birthday. You know what? I do want to say, though, I think the first one has those moments, though, too, where you're like, whoa, like this is something crazy. Like you were saying, too, with the mom coming in, fighting off the gremlins in that whole kitchen scene. The gremlin in the microwave exploding. Like, it's like, whoa. And I think it has
the Christmas tree grabbing the mom.
Yeah.
Because the gremlins were in it.
The mother is frantically stabbing into the air. You see the knife flash in front of the gremlin. I love the mom is like my favorite character.
Oh, Mrs. Pelter's
Takes
amazing.
no shit.
Yeah.
You know what I want to ask you guys? If you had to pick a favorite gremlin, who's going to be your favorite gremlin?
Oh, I gotta think about this one.
I have an answer.
All right.
Okay. In the second one, it's the one that gains the ability to speak and has the glasses because he drinks the brain potion.
I trust that's not the brain hormone that creature's drinking.
I wanna talk a little bit about what's going on in this room, because I think there are some fascinating ramifications here for the future.
Talking about a gremlin with glasses who could talk and sing New York, New York. That's brilliant. It's in the movie done.
You love him.
Yeah. The interview he does with the guy in the Dracula costume.
That's peak.
We want the same thing that everybody wants, society.
Fred, what we want is, I think, what everyone wants and what you and your viewers have. Civilization. You take a look at this fellow here. Now, was that civilized? No, clearly not. Fun, but in no sense civilized.
I don't like that it can
Street
talk.
crime, but we can watch that for free.
I like the electric gremlin, especially when he gets trapped in the phone and he's stuck on hold and the gremlin's like, no!
Purgatory.
It's like, I really could relate to that, like ever having to make customer service phone calls. I appreciated that little gag.
Oh, I like the bat gremlin.
You mean a gremlin with leathery wings just flying around, flip-flopping, bust through a wall, make a perfect bat symbol in the wall?
Just because I think the scene with him going after Mr. Futterman is one of the funniest things in the entire fucking world.
He like purposely goes after him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
He's just running down the street like, oh. You can hear in the background his wife at one point is, it's just a flesh wound.
I didn't hear that. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I like the electrician gremlin who was like messing and had like his little hard hat on and the little outfit.
Yes.
I don't know. That just struck me as especially funny in Gremlins too, because he had his whole little outfit and tool belt.
I'm trying to think of who my favorite would be.
You like the sexy gremlin.
Lipstick, boobies, bitch, you had me and little gremlin but JJ.
Oh my God.
The girl gremlin.
That little gremlin but JJ.
She had some nice lips.
The poor
very
doctor,
shiny, very
the poor
juicy.
doctor from Star Trek Voyager there.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to feel me.
Oh my God.
You commit?
I heard though.
By the end of Mr. Forster there, was into it.
I heard that was a an ad lib scene at the end where he gave that reaction. And
I didn't know that.
And Joe Dante was like, fuck it, we'll put it in.
That is the perfect decision.
You can tell.
Yeah, he's like, Logan.
Was anybody else playing Breaking Bad bingo with these movies? Because the first one had Mike as the deputy sheriff. There was Mike. The second one, the delivery guy, was Tuco.
Was it
Breaking
really? It was, wasn't it?
Wow, yeah. A young Tuco.
Yeah.
Bearclaw, I got other characters separations for you. In Gremlins...
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of...
In Gremlins 1, right, we have Phoebe Cates and Judge Reinhold from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Gremlins 2, we have the actor who played Long Duck Dong from...
16 Candles.
Yeah, and the girl there from 16 Candles. The friend, the evil friend.
Marla, whatever the actress' name is.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. From the same movie.
A lot of like before they were famous kind of cameos in this.
Yeah, there is. The Judge Reinhold plot in the first one
Can't go anywhere.
Yeah. He shows up for one scene, is an asshole, and then disappears from the movie.
Hey, Kate, you haven't seen my new apartment.
I haven't seen your old apartment.
That's enough.
I kind of thought he was going to be like a rival for Billy or something.
Yeah.
They were kind of setting that up a little bit, and then he just was gone.
Like all the greats.
I feel like we should have got a scene where like the Gremlins are torturing him or something, you know? We didn't even get one of those.
No, you didn't get a death scene even, yeah.
Logan, how about you? Any favorite Gremlins?
This guy right.
You like him?
Gremlin? You talking about a gremlin whose sole purpose in this film is just that he looks stupid as fuck, yes.
No, the googly-eyed gremlin's great.
God, I keep on forgetting the name. I keep on calling him Spike, but it's Stripe.
Hey, look, that one's got a cute little stripe on its head.
From
Stripe,
the first one. I just like him. He's a little asshole.
He's the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
I
liked
hated him.
too.
He made me so mad. He was so mean to Gizmo.
He was.
They were all
That's
mean
why
to
I liked
Gizmo.
him.
Yeah, they were fucking... What?
I hate Gizmo. Gizmo ain't for
Rude.
me.
You don't like Gizmo?
No, I don't like Gizmo.
I love Gizmo.
Until the
I wish
second
I
one.
had
The
a
second
Gizmo.
one, he's good, because then he goes full Rambo, and then I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
character
That's
development.
his character arc.
Oh, you didn't like Gizmo in the little car?
No, because he didn't do anything.
He drove the
drove.
car.
And then he drove into
He's
a
doing
wall.
his best, Logan. He's doing his best, Logan.
He doesn't have a driver's license.
Not enough. Not enough.
It probably doesn't have
Kept in
brakes.
a little cage, and he's got to play chess all day.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the-
No, stop
car
advocating.
owner there.
He's got to stick
I
up
guess-
for himself.
I guess watching it more as an adult, it kind of makes sense to be less in love with Gizmo, because if you watch this as a child, as I did, Gizmo is your favorite thing in the entire world. Like every time I watched the first one, I was just waiting for that scene where Gizmo drives that car. And, because it was the best to me as a child.
How cute is that little song that he sings?
Shut up.
No,
I
Malibu
love
Barbie
his little
bitch.
song.
Nah,
Got a heart of stone, Logan. A heart of
I
stone.
don't care.
Logan, what are the rules for the Gremlins? There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Now, Logan will recite
Do
all
I
of them.
remember them? No.
Well, you
It's
couldn't
explained-
own a Gremlin then.
You are not ready.
Clearly
Very
not.
easy. No bright lights.
I can't.
Don't feed them after midnight, and no water.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
good job, Bear Claw.
It's mentioned like maybe 6 times in each movie.
I wasn't listening.
Too much exposition.
Yeah. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. Too much.
In fairness, they fuck it up in every movie.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna set up rules in a horror movie,
Gotta break them.
They have to be broken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point of having them at all?
And then they go into the pupil stage.
Yeah.
They make a big deal of that in the first movie.
Yes, they do. If you don't fuck up the rules, you don't have much of a movie. You know, Billy and Gizmo just live happily ever after, and you know,
it's too easy to break.
Roll
the rules.
credits.
They're easy rules to break. Like water is like the easiest thing to break. Like a spill could happen, something like that. Food after midnight, you should be able to control that. That's not that hard.
Well, if you remember correctly,
and if your alarm clock isn't broken.
If you remember correctly, the Gremlins intentionally broke the alarm clock while he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, they had bad intentions.
They did. They were bad little guys.
And he left the guy left his fucking sandwich out.
Yeah.
Like he was leaving.
That was
He
so
just left the
weird.
Sandwich. Yeah.
He just took a bite of it and was like, well, see you later.
The 80s was a much more freewheeling time.
He had enough of that sandwich. Wasn't good.
It's a shitty sandwich.
I know.
Might have
the
been.
hell is this?
Yeah, horseradish. Yeah.
Anyone think it was weird how Gizmo just went back to his home on the end of the first one? Like, I don't know. I thought he was gonna stay with Billy and they were gonna like have like a buddy relationship, but they were just like, nope, this is all over. Catch you later, Gizmo. Back with the old man.
He was
See you
stolen.
later.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Wing was right. He was not responsible enough for that gremlin.
That's
for
true.
that Mogwai,
Fair
rather.
enough.
You are not ready.
Because all the rules were broken within a 24-hour period.
You know what? That's why I was thinking like this is like the perfect setup for a sequel. In like right away sort of deal, not 4 years later.
Well, I mean, apparently they tried for the longest time to get a sequel to work before they finally just went back to Joe Dante and said, "Can you do this?" And he was like, I want to do anything I want. And they said, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got Gremlins 2.
That was the right decision.
100%.
Anybody
the right
ever
decision.
listen to any Mogwai?
Oh, the band?
No?
There's a band.
No
called-
Mogwai band? Jill's got my back.
I would
here. They're pretty
expect
good. I
Nathan
like
to know,
Mogwai.
actually. That's
didn't
like
know this.
up Nathan's alley.
I have no idea. I've never heard of them. That's a great
Yeah,
name. though.
they're like a. Yeah, no, they're awesome band. Check them out. They're like a Scottish post rock band.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
looked up what kind of music they are, but pretty good. Check them out. Yeah.
I have a question. How come every time that Gizmo reproduces, right? How come there's always like a Stripe character? Are they the same character, or like he just always makes bullies?
Yeah.
Or is he the
I was
only
wondering
one of
that
his
too.
kind who is
Nature
good? I
versus
don't know.
nurture.
Okay.
Oh.
There is a.
Nathan has an in-depth theory
Here we
about
go.
this, and I'm
I
so
don't
Yeah,
have
I
a theory.
okay,
I
let's go.
actually
Okay.
have the answer. There is
Whoa.
a novelization of the first movie. I read this
Whoa.
on Reddit, so I guess grain of salt. They are aliens, and they are naturally evil. Gizmo is a 1 in 10,000 chance, and so anytime Gizmo reproduces, he's got a 1 in 10,000 chance of one of them being a good
Okay.
little guy.
And so maybe it's also like, you know, like a racial of that alien species that the leader will be the one who has the stripe.
You asked if they're the same characters, and I wonder because they do seem to remember things from the first movie.
Yes, they do.
And they can like speak
Maybe
and
it's like
stuff
a Dr.
more.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of scenario, like where Mr. Hyde is Stripe and Dr. Jekyll is Gizmo there.
Never thought we'd have an in-depth conversation about why Stripe is the way he
The
is.
psyche of the gremlin.
You know what? I was wondering that too because are the evil gremlins like Gizmo's kids?
Technically.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
He's reproducing, right? Or-
All of his kids get
it's asexual
genocided at the end.
reproduction, yeah.
It's like a toad.
By force.
No, nothing like a toad. Actually.
Like a starfish. No, it's not.
More like
Like the
a
dinosaurs from
like an
Jurassic
amoeba,
Park.
really.
There is a type of toad that grows bubbles like on its back, and it can reproduce that way. I forget what the toad is, but yeah, that's what I saw. And then I just was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then you go from that to a gremlin, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, completely different species there. One's an alien and one's a toad. Where did they come up with the ideas for this movie?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I look at the Gremlin, and I gotta be real honest with you guys. I take a look at that whole species, and I just think, my God, what an opportunity to make a significant amount of money. Just like their biology and the technology behind it.
Jeez.
And like,
You're like the dad from the first
I don't know.
one.
I feel like
Yeah.
Wayland Yutani from the Alien series, but I'm just like,
Wait a minute. That's exactly what Mr. Peltzer did in the first one. He was like,
We'll make the Peltzer pets.
Yeah, but they're
could
even
replace
more
the dog.
applicable as like a weapon system. Like,
Oh boy.
Yeah, you just unleash them on the enemy, and they
I was
just
going to say,
create
release
chaos.
Gremlins.
You gotta watch out that they don't come back to you though, because they don't
true.
give a damn.
well, that's what Mr. What's his name said there. The guy who came back to life in the second movie. He was like, "Oh, they used to put him in everything."
It's the same Gremlins brought down our planes in the big one. Put them in the cars, they put them in the TV, they put them in the stereos and the radios you stick in your ears. They put them in your watches. They got little teeny Gremlins for our watches.
They used to put him in, in planes and everything like that. Do you think they were ever used as a weapon system? I don't know.
No.
Seems like it'd be pretty effective. They seem to have a penchant for chaos and destruction.
That's true. I didn't think. I don't know. That's something.
Am I the real monster for thinking like that?
No,
Now he's turning us into monsters.
you're like,
You're making us
you're
all
really onto
monsters,
something.
Bear
Like that
Claw.
does align.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, you got to make sure they don't come back to you. You have to unleash them from afar because they're not going to be like, this is the good weapon systems that we need to not fuck up. They're just going to do it,
Same thing with the xenomorphs and alien,
Yeah. Basically the same creature.
I want to ask everybody what some of your favorite scenes are in these movies, because I think for me, right, especially in Gremlins 2, I love the scene where they're kind of poking fun at the Gremlins rules like we touched on, and like, oh, what happens if you have something stuck in your tooth?
What if one of them eats something at 11 o'clock, but then he gets something stuck in his teeth?
Yeah, like a caraway seed or a sesame seed.
Whatever,
something.
right.
And then after 12 o'clock, it comes out. Now, he didn't eat that after midnight.
Yeah, that's
Look, I didn't make the rules, okay?
Yeah.
And you eat after midnight.
Yeah, like a sesame seed, or what was the other seed that they used?
Caraway seed.
Caraway seed or a sesame seed.
Right. I love this scene. And then, boom! Out of the
jump scare.
Yeah, I jumped back. I was like, holy shit! There was a gremlin in the computer system.
Speaking of scary gremlins, did anybody find the spider gremlin to be like, of the gremlins, the scariest?
Oh yeah,
I
the
feel
spider
like
gremlin is the most terrifying.
Is like truly terrifying. Like even as a little kid, I was like, "Whoa, this is that turned the movie up a little bit."
Oh yeah,
There
when it's coming after Marla and Phoebe Cates, it's like,
yeah.
no, what's going on?
There is a scene also though where Phoebe Cates is stuck in the elevator, and you do get that scary like gremlin hands coming out from the elevator.
Yeah.
It's so funny though the way the gremlins are responding.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, we'll go that far.
Sound alarm.
That's why I'm saying it's Minion shit right there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Minions is a good movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. But the elevator scene, when the elevator like falls down, right? And she's just like on the ground, and those two ladies open, like the elevator door opens, and they just look at her and they're like, oh, we'll get the next one. They just leave her there.
We'll get the next one.
She's clearly not okay.
Surprised she
I got an
survived.
interesting what gremlin do you see yourself as? Kevin, you go first.
Oh man.
What gremlin do you think closely resembles you?
I think I'm Gizmo.
Aww.
No, you're not.
You know what, Kevin?
I think you're Gizmo.
Oh, that dude! Oh no!
You are not Gizmo, bro.
You are. I think you're Gizmo.
I think
you're sweet.
I
You do
second
not
the
sing
Gizmo.
like him.
La 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 la. Dan, how about
the
you?
voice of an angel, Logan.
Dan, what's your gremlin you think you resemble?
Probably the one that's in Logan's background.
We're all this guy. We're all this guy.
Googly eye gremlin.
Bearclaw, what about you? You brought it up.
I'm kind of, I kind of think I would probably be the bat gremlin. Because I think that'd be pretty cool, and I definitely see myself drinking the bat juice, especially as a little kid who watched this movie, because I thought the bat gremlin was the coolest one, because that one would definitely have wings, and that'd be pretty awesome.
Did the Batman
and then
symbol?
he got the sunscreen shot, and he was able to go outside, so that was pretty awesome.
Did the bat symbol sell you on it too?
Yeah, I think the bat symbol sold me on it too.
That is so funny.
And then he tried into a gargoyle. I don't know. All that I
That was
enjoyed.
fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Jill, would you be him too, or no?
No, I'm
be?
like a mixture from the first movie of like those gremlins in the bar, just like getting really drunk and just like like passing out. A mixture of that. And the sexy gremlin in the second movie.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
The sexy
You can do the
gremlin.
math.
That is one way of putting that.
You don't think she was sexy?
You talk about car fucking movies, Nathan.
It is about a woman who is a serial killer who fucks a car and then gets pregnant with a car baby.
There's also a car theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Less kinky than
Car
gremlin fucking.
gremlin. Car gremlin.
Same thing.
Nathan, how about you?
Me? I think I'm the electric gremlin because of the constant sense of existential dread.
Oh, God.
Dang.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just making shit up over here.
Just in time for the holidays,
I
Nathan.
know, right?
Yeah.
You brought us down like Phoebe Cates.
No, yeah. I still say that speech is hilarious. When Gizmo makes his little face at the speech, he's like, "Oh!"
I was like, "Whoa, man,
that's some heavy shit."
That's some dark shit, even for me." And I just had my children are rampaging the car. And I'm gonna try and kill them.
I'm just trying to kill my kids. Oh man, Nathan, how about you? What's some of your favorite scenes? You like the dad dying in the chimney scene? Which other?
I do think that speech is hilarious, but no, I like microwaving with Marge.
These bologna and bean dip roll-ups are so easy.
Oh yeah!
The whole concept is that she just makes terrible food in the microwave, and then the gremlins show up and start throwing food at her. Like the first one is the googly-eyed gremlin, and he's just got a baster, and he's like,
"Oh, those bologna bean wraps! Oh, those seem foul."
And then the woman's like, Marge is like, "Look at them, they're monsters. They're putting metal utensils in a microwave. You can't do that."
I just like how she gets housed on Sherry.
Some people use a dash. I use a lot.
And she starts slurring her words through the broadcast.
Sherry, you say?
Yeah, she's very, what's her name there?
Mrs. Mac.
Mrs. Mac, yeah.
Oh man,
Mrs. Mac.
they would get along great. Logan, how about you? What's some of your favorite scenes?
Oh God, there's so many good
How
ones.
about Miss Steagle going out the window?
That is the perfect
Logan's
one.
a stripe gremlin.
But here's the thing: I already saw that beforehand. I knew it was coming, and I waited so long for it to show up. And when it did, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Well
She
deserved.
went out with a pitcher of water because she wanted to soak children who were Christmas caroling.
I warned you, Brad.
In like under freezing weather because it's snow everywhere.
What an evil woman.
They make sure that you feel like she got what she deserved. That's for damn sure.
I mean, the Gremlins, if nothing else, they're really into showmanship because they not only had that Christmas Carol scene, but the whole musical number in the second movie.
Yes.
Start spreading the news.
New York scene.
It became a musical out of nowhere.
And then Mr. Futterman's just like, hey, they ain't bad.
I mean, they weren't.
No,
They were pretty good.
The brainy gremlin could sing, yeah.
Didn't know
Jill,
Gremlins could sing.
Jill, New York, New York. Is that one of your favorite moments?
No. But I can tell you about my favorite moment.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So I have 3 from the first movie. So I think the kitchen scene where the gremlins are just like causing havoc. It's the scene I think of whenever I think of Gremlins. I just think it's iconic. It's clever. I love that. I love the bar scene. So good.
Yeah.
And
the flashing gremlin.
Yeah.
And I love the theater scene in the first one.
My God.
It's
It's
just
iconic.
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the scene where Mrs. Deeker slowly like comes down, like so very painfully slowly comes down like the stairs on her little elevator, and she shoots back up so quickly. And it's just perfect. What about you, Kevin?
You know what? For me, I think the first movie has like that iconic theater scene. I love that scene. Just the gremlins, you know, watching, singing along to the Seven Dwarfs there.
They're watching Snow White.
Yeah.
And they love it.
What are they doing?
They're watching Snow White. And they love it.
They love it.
And then
They're watching Snow White in the second one, too.
Yeah.
Those things have taken over the projector. They refuse to show the rest of the film. All they want to see is Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs.
and then it cuts back to Gizmo, and he's also going.
That movie's a banger. Snow White is a banger, so I understand why they were.
Right.
But that goes back to the logic of like they remember Snow White. So are they the same aliens? I mean, gremlins?
People.
Does Gizmo hold multitudes? Is he Legion?
Oh God.
Dan, how about you? What's some of your favorite scenes?
So, one of the things that I really enjoy that we haven't touched on in the first one is just all of the dad's inventions, like littered throughout the movie, and just like
that poor guy,
the bathroom buddy, the egg breaker thing, the shitty orange juicer, like all of those things I thought were pretty funny. I love the lady getting launched up the stairwell there on the lift. The introduction of Gizmo is, I think, great in the first one. The second one, to Jill's point, it's so packed with so many things, it's hard to really like
Yeah, it's hard to pick one.
But I think the spider scene is really, really, really freaking cool. And just like, again, like how they went all out and like Joe just threw everything but the kitchen sink at that second movie. It's just, it's fun. Like the whole thing.
I wanted to ask Jill, what did you think of in the second one, the Canadian restaurant they went to?
There's a very chic new restaurant. It's Canadian. They clean the fish right at your table.
Oh my God. Okay, actually, have any of you guys been to Epcot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Canadian Pavilion, Le Cellier, like the Canadian steakhouse there. It's like my favorite place in Disney World. But they actually do have a chocolate like mousse dessert, and it's like mousse that's in the shape. It's mousse in the shape of a moose, and it just reminded me. It was like a tiny version of that, and
Did you
the
have any
Mountie.
horn?
How about some horn?
I did have horn actually, and it was delicious. But yeah, I love that restaurant and love the Mountie server.
That was awesome.
It was just really stupid. Dan was talking about like the dad and the inventions and stuff. And I just want to go back and talk about like the mom and dad in the first one are just like really wholesome, like American mom and dad like, characters.
I don't think we can drink this.
What's wrong with this?
And the mom is so supportive of the dad's inventions. Like, even though
I wouldn't be.
they
don't work
suck.
everything up.
Yeah. And I love that. That's so sweet, actually.
It is cute. Yeah.
I kept asking Logan
Such a
throughout.
Spielberg touch, though.
Yeah. I kept asking Logan throughout, like, how do they make money? Like, how is
don't.
the dad selling anything?
Well,
the son was supporting the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to be in this house.
Somehow you could afford to support a family of 3 on a single salary as a 18-year-old.
And comics. He was doing like comics on the side.
That's
But
true.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Corey Feldman was in the first movie, too.
Dang, I didn't think of that because I'm like, wait a minute. He's always at the, out trying to sell his junk. He went to that convention.
Whoa.
there.
Can't say that.
Whoa.
Selling his junk.
Not like that. If he was selling his junk, maybe he'd make some cash.
I
don't think so.
They didn't have OnlyFans back then.
Did you see also at that convention, Steven Spielberg did a cameo?
Oh, did he?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He went by on like...
I saw that robot from like Forbidden Planet or
Yeah.
something.
Pardon me, sir. Stuff? Thick and heavy? Would 60 gallons be sufficient?
That did a cameo.
Yeah, kind of cool. Bear Claw, what are some of your favorite scenes?
I like the romance in the first movie, and that's just a little bit, the romance between the Billy there and then the bar waitress. I thought that was sweet. And that had a nice touch, and like the whole hometown feel of the first movie I really liked. And then the second movie is really just scenes put together. Any scene that, Christopher Lee was in, especially when he was like, oh, I've got guns over here.
But I do have some small assault weapons.
And like, why does Christopher Lee or Dr. Dr. I keep
Catheter.
blanking on this, but
Dr. Catheter. How can you forget Dr. Catheter?
Maybe it's my mind just
Slice of
catheter, the
life.
idea of a catheter.
Slice of
But
life,
like,
custom jeans.
why does the first interaction with him and a gremlin, he's like, do you want some diseases?
Let's talk this over. I can get you diseases.
Weirdo.
Like, why is that? He's like such a weirdo.
That's Christopher
and, like,
Lee,
even
though.
The main guy is like, we could have rented that to like 2 dentists and like a thing, and then we did this genetic laboratory. They're making rats electric. Like, that was very funny. We're like, oh,
Sounds
but what
about
if you
right.
touch it and it shocks you? It's like, what are you guys doing in here? You're just mad scientists just fucking about? Like,
Yes.
you're not even doing anything meaningful. You're
That's
just
true.
like, whoa.
He gets that delivery and he's like, oh, it's my malaria.
Oh, splendid. This must be my malaria. Just rabies. I've got rabies.
It's just rabies. I've already got rabies.
I already got rabies.
I've already got rabies, and then he takes the tissue from the. So the Christopher Lee scenes, I guess, would be some of my favorites in that movie. Like, why does he want to help out the Gremlins? What's going on there? Then he kind of switches sides and is like, let's get some guns, and then he arms the Gremlins. So that makes things better, of course.
I want to know from the 3 of you who did not see Gremlins 2 before this, how did you react when the film broke? Like, how did you take that? Because like I said, I don't remember the first time I watched this movie because I was so young.
I legit thought there was like a freeze because I was watching it on HBO on my computer, and I thought that my computer like froze for a second. So
That's
it
awesome.
got me for sure, because I was like, what? And then I was like looking at hit the screen, and it was like still go. I was like, oh fuck, they got me.
It got me too.
Did it?
Yep.
That's awesome.
I'm gullible though.
I thought it was cool. Nowadays, you're used to it. Like, they do that a lot in movies now, kind of, in a way. So it was cool.
Name one other movie
I was
they do
going to say.
They do that a lot nowadays. They just did it in the new they did it in the new She-Hulk show. Did anyone watch She-Hulk? The 1% of viewers that watched freaking She-Hulk. they go into a scene where you log out and it's on Disney Plus in the actual show. Like, it's so meta. They do that a lot where it's like, oh, look at this. But I don't know. It was definitely cooler than that.
Did it have Hulk Hogan in it?
Didn't have
What's
the whole
funny
thing.
too is like if you watched it in the theater, that's what it actually looks like when film breaks. It's literally a prank on the audience that would work better in the theater back when theaters still used actual film.
I wonder what it was like in the theater, though.
I didn't see it in the theater. I can tell
Like
you
people
that.
reacting to it, like, oh,
Yeah.
Somebody definitely got up and went to like an usher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the film's broken.
For sure.
Don't worry, the Hulkster apologized and made it right. So it's all good.
Hulkster fixed everything.
I have a question though about that. Like, he's talking about how all he wants is to watch a movie with his cold drink and his hot popcorn.
People pay good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth.
And then he's like squeezing the popcorn bag and like throws it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah,
He had to show the Gremlins he meant business.
That's Hogan for you.
It's an intimidation tactic.
It's time for quote or kill. We're going to give you all our favorite quote or kill from both movies combined, so we're not taking up too much time. Or both. For me, my favorite kill is the microwave scene from the first one. Because it was like, wait a minute, she's not going to put that gremlin in the microwave and kill it, is she? And then like 2 seconds later, it's like, I was like, holy shit. And that's when I knew like this movie was kicking into high gear here. And I loved it.
Mrs. Peltzer is like a sprained ankle. She's nothing to play with.
Ooh. And my quote is from the second Gremlins. And Billy goes, he's talking to Grandpa Fred, the guy who looked like Grandpa Munster. I heard about your new time slot. I'm sorry. Personally, I think they're making a big mistake. And Grandpa Fred said, mistake? Oh, kid, it's a disaster.
People who watch TV at 3:30 in the morning aren't scared of the Wolfman. Only thing that scares those people is getting sober and finding work.
Like, oh my God. This dude's getting into some deep shit here.
Oh, man.
And some real Ronald Reagan vibes showing through there.
My second one is, I'm going to kind of cheat here, is the elevator scene where the Gremlins make the alarm sounds, because I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I'll go with kill. Mama going full John Wick on those Gremlins was a real treat. I think that was the coolest scene in the movie and definitely made that movie 10 times better.
I'm just going to do quotes. I really like whenever they said milk duds. In the first one during like the theater scene, because they didn't really talk much then, and it just cracked me up every time they said it because I fucking love milk duds. In the second movie, it's Gizmo's like Rambo character development. He watched like the Rambo on the TV from earlier. He's like,
survive a war, you gotta become war.
And he's wearing his like little little bandana.
His bandana.
And he's like trying to punch his little paws at the like punching bag, and then when he finally hits it, it like sends him flying. So I love it. It's so funny.
Gotta lose the bandana though. He likes the bandana.
Sly Stallone gave his personal permission for them to use that in the movie, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's great.
My favorite kill, we've talked about it already. It's the microwave. Gremlin in the microwave. That's pretty awesome. Runner-up is the other Gremlin going in the Pillman juicer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for 2, when they send the electricity Gremlin into the water and it nukes all of the Gremlins.
Yeah, that's pretty
great scene. And you get like the intelligent Gremlin like decomposing while still singing and just plops on the, just melts away. It's pretty cool. Quotes, yummy yum, and Gizmo caca.
Gizmo caca.
Dan, you kind of touched on something too that we only briefly mentioned, but like some of the effects were pretty good. You know, I know like the puppetry sometimes looked a little off and things, but I don't know. Overall, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was excellent.
I like in the first one where you can tell that they're clearly using miniatures like for parts of the town and stuff. I think that's really cool. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That is one of those cool things, like movie magic things, where they do like little models and they make it to scale. It is awesome.
My favorite kill, I'm going to do a kill and a quote. My favorite kill is the security guards who were like, "Oh, gremlins, little green men, huh?" And then the thing busts out and kills them.
What if they're eating in an airplane and they cross a time zone? I mean, it's always midnight somewhere.
I thought that was like a good kill because it was just like, shoot, you know, because they're giving him a pretty hard time, and it's like, oh, well, you get what you get, you know.
Right.
And then my favorite quote is when Brainy Gremlin was talking with was being interviewed, and he's like, well, you know, we want to buy tickets from Broadway.
There are the Broadway shows. We'll have to find out how to get tickets. There's also a lot of street crime, but I believe we can watch that for free.
And street crime, but we get to watch street crime for free. I thought that was a hilarious quote, and just goes to show, like, you know, he's trying to put on this face of civility, but at the end of the day, he's a gremlin just like the rest of them. So
my favorite kill is Mrs. Deagle. I just think it's hilarious how she goes out the window after the stair assist thing goes on the fritz. And again, the setup where she was about to pour water on children in below freezing temperatures.
She deserved that.
Cracks me up. Only to see Gremlins singing Christmas carols, which is also
she
hilarious.
got what she got, just like that security guard. She got what she got, you know?
Yeah. My favorite line is, "Oh, don't talk to me about Lincoln."
Something terrible happened to me one year on Lincoln's birthday. I was 6 or 7, and this man with this
Honey,
beard and a hat looked just like Abe Lincoln.
Honey, I really don't think
Except
we've
for
got
the
time for
raincoat.
this now, you know?
I remember, oh God, he said, "Hello, little girl." Honey, come on.
Something terrible happened to me on Lincoln's birthday.
And everybody's just like,
everybody's like, come on. And Billy's like, honey, we don't have time for this. And then she just keeps talking after they all leave. The way it's a callback to the first movie, why she hates Christmas speech, which, again, I don't know. Some of you thought that brought you down. I thought it was also. I also thought that was funny.
Awesome.
Like I crack up every time she says, "He fell down the chimney and broke his neck, killed him instantly."
He slipped and broke his neck, died instantly.
It makes me laugh. I don't know.
Oh my God. Sick people.
Stupid. It's so stupid.
Like, who's actually going down a fucking chimney?
Santa, that's who.
Yeah.
Well, Santa's magic.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's how she learned that Santa, if you remember correctly.
And that's how I found out.
Wait, what? What was that last bit?
I know, you gotta edit that last bit out.
What? No! The magic is ruined.
Oh man!
Don't worry, we have Santa.
I gotta go, guys.
We have Santa Claus. It's okay.
Oh, Santa Claus!
For a second, I thought you actually didn't hear me.
He didn't.
Same. I was like,
same. He blocked it out.
Wait, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's
All right,
what
cool.
I got. The Lincoln speech is my quote.
All right, cool. We're on to our final rating. We're gonna rate both of these movies from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is how cute Gizmo is, and 1 is how awful Miss Deagle is. I'm gonna rate Gremlins 4.5 stars. I really like it. I think it's a great movie. It's a great Christmas movie too. Like, it's something a little bit different. Blends, I think, that action adventure type of thing, and a little horror, but not over the top. And, I think it's one of those timeless movies. It really is. And I'm sorry that I missed out on it all these years, because I think now I'm going to rewatch it every year. Gremlins 2, I'm going to rate 4 stars just because For me, it's just a little bit under. The craziness is kind of tough sometimes, I think, to rewatch it over and over again. But at the same time, I love the craziness, so I don't know. But it's just a little bit under for me.
I give Gremlins 1 5 stars. It is a classic, probably up there. Like, my 3 favorite Christmas movies are this, A Christmas Story, and Home Alone. They all, like, this movie kind of feels like it fits with those other 2. Grew up with this in my childhood, like, big part of that, and I love it. Gremlins 2, I give that 3.5 stars. I love the schlocky zaniness of it all, but there's just something about the original one that like is special and holds like a close to my heart.
Gremlins 1, I give 5 stars. It is a classic. Definitely one you got to rewatch every year. It's a perfect movie. Character development is all there. The atmosphere is awesome. It's just a perfect movie. Deagle got everything she deserved, and I'm happy about it. Gizmo is like the only like real like I just wanted more from him. Feel like there wasn't enough of him. Then the second one gives me exactly what I want with Gizmo, but not enough character development. The atmosphere just isn't enough, but it's such a god awful movie that I'm like, I want more. I would also give it 5 stars. They're both great movies.
Okay.
You can't have one without the other.
I'm going to steal a line from an Avett Brothers song and just say that I love these movies both in so many different ways. Both 5 stars for me. I mean, for completely different reasons, but the first one, it's kind of like that Spielberg, but at the same time, like, it still tells a compelling story. It's got interesting characters. There's always something interesting going on screen, so I love it. The whole, how they set up the Gremlins is fantastic in the first movie. And then the second movie is just a cartoon. But you know what? I'm okay with that. And everything happening in the building, and Christopher Lee and the vampire guy who looks like the grandpa from the Munsters. I couldn't say a bad thing about either of them. They're must-watches. I love both these movies. It's a 5 and a 5 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm right there with Logan and Bear Claw. They're both 5 stars for me for both different reasons. The first one is really special to me. It's got heart. It's got like the atmosphere, the character development that we're talking about, the Christmas feel, and it's very rewatchable. The second one is crazy the whole time, and I know I talked about that earlier, but I don't see that as a bad thing. It's just not something I'm gonna rewatch like every year. But I had a really good time, and I didn't know that it existed. And I'm so happy that it exists because, you can't ask for much more from a sequel than Gremlins 2.
I don't really have much to add to the singing of praises of both of these movies. I think Jill, Bear Claw, and Logan pretty much covered it. And I'm giving both of these movies 5 stars.
Whoa.
I will say, it's not required that everybody love these movies as much as I do. But to Logan's friends who don't like the movie at all, you need to take a close look at yourself in the mirror. Because you hate fun. And there's something wrong with you.
Who's that guy staring back at you? I agree, Nathan.
Yeah.
Strong words from Nathan. That does it for our review on Gremlins versus Gremlins 2. We want to say thank you all for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. Thank you to the Mouths of Madness for joining us. It was a great, cheerful episode, you might say. Now, remember not to feed us after midnight. And back to the padded room with you.
I'll eat after midnight if I fucking want to.
You can't tell me what to do.
No, you won't.
I'm going to go drink a whole bunch of water.